When I first got my diagnosis, I was scared to death, really in disbelief. It goes back to how everyone says, you know, they can't believe that this has happened to me.
When I was first diagnosed with cancer, I thought it was the end of the world. I thought that my life was going to pass in front of me and that I had just a few short months left to live.
When I got the news, I was devastated. Can't be. No, it didn't happen to me. This happens to other people, not me. I was devastated, scared me to death.
When I first got diagnosed, I was told by the emergency room doctor. He asked me if I wanted it straight or candy coated, and I just told him straight, and he said, "You have cancer."
Well, I said I hated the whole world.
You know, that's how I felt too. It was like...
And I was mad with God. I wondered what I had done to Him to put all this on me.
Of course, your first thought is your family. How can I protect my family from this?
Afterwards, we went home and we told our daughter exactly what had happened. I believe in being very honest in that, and you have your family as a support group to help you get through this. I told my family and my friends. I told my brothers and sisters, and got them to understand what it was, what I had, and what I was going to have, the treatment I was going to have to go through to combat this disease.
When I told my family, when I told my children, it was spring break, and we had decided to let them have a few days of spring break without carefree, without knowing this. But we wanted to give them time to adjust before going back to school on Monday too. So on Thursday, we told them, and it was the hardest thing I have ever done in my life, was to tell them that. My oldest son actually collapsed, and we all cried.
Cancer treatment, it's very rough on the partner. It's a lot rougher than what people think it is. The nurses at the Houston Medical Center on the ward and IV center, therapy center, they talked with the wife and help her understand it. A lot of people, even if it's a husband, they'll do the same thing for them too.
And it's extremely important, not just to your family members, but to your caregiver to know everything that's up front and what they're having to face. And it's really encouraging to have a caregiver like a wife or a mother or father or whatever to support you through every step of this, because like I say, there are good days and there are bad days, and your family is extremely important in this process, and so are your friends. And they really helped me through this. I think the best way to tell a person who has been diagnosed with cancer and is about to take chemotherapy that chemotherapy is a necessary evil in the treatment process in order to eliminate or reduce the cancer to where they can have a good quality of life. And that we all go through setbacks in life, and that chemo is just a form of therapy, a form of treatment, that again, it's not as bad as it sounds, and if you have any questions about it, talk to somebody that's been there. And go through the process with a positive mind. Yes, you're going to have good days. Yes, you're going to have bad days, but you're going to have more good days than bad days. And look forward to the good days and stay by yourself on the bad days.
My wife was with me and my sister was with me, and next time the nurse came in, I told him, I'm starting to feel sick. And about that time, I said I was starting to feel sick. I got sick. But after that, that was the only time I got sick. They found out how much chemo I could take through without making me sick, and we stayed at that rate my whole treatment, and I never got sick or nothing.
I didn't throw up, not one time. And finally, on the second one, it took me about 3 times to make up my mind that I had to go and take it, you know. And I was ugly to everybody. Everybody was so nice to me.
Virginia was there the day I came, and she said, "Don't worry about your hair. I know a place that you can go and get a wig." And he's wonderful, and he was. I got a wig because my hair came out in 15 days, which was very, very devastating to me.
I probably over-prepared myself for the chemo. It really wasn't bad at all. It was, you know, I kept thinking I was going to be nauseous, I was going to be ill, I was not going to be able to sleep, because it was a 24-hour chemo over a 4-day period. And again, I let my mind wander rather than think positive, and as a result of that, I came to the realization that chemo is not as bad as everybody advertises it to be.
I would like to say to the new patients that are diagnosed that, you know, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean that you're gonna die. And, you know, here at Houston Medical Center, there's people here that are there for you. And, you know, they were supportive to me, and I'm sure that they'll be the same to you. But, you know, don't give up. It's not the end of life.
You have to look at it with a positive attitude from day one through the time that the doctor tells you you're in remission.
Don't look at it over a period of a year. Look at it as one day at a time, one step at a time, and you've got to be positive.
My suggestion is wake up every morning and look at the positive. It's there. You may have to look hard some days, but it's there. If you look at the negative, it's going to sink you into a hole. And if you look at the positive every day, it's definitely all around you. God will provide that. Just put a smile on your face and go about your day as much as you can.
Well, you know, it's sad to say, but having cancer have made me a stronger person. Before cancer, I took everything for granted.
It's really made a difference in my life, and it's things that I look forward to do. Taking my daughter to the movies, going to her school functions, taking her to church. All those things are very, very important in your life, and if you start slacking off, feeling sorry for yourself, you're not going to get better. And a positive attitude makes a big difference when you're treating any kind of disease or any kind of malady that you come into contact with. And you know, I believe in that, and it's really comforting. I have been in the chemo room with people from all over the world, in Arkansas and at IV Therapy here in Warner Robins, and I can tell you right now that talking to people about what you have and sharing your experiences is a very positive experience.
Instead of looking at the things that I don't have or that I may not get, I look at what's before me today, right here, now, and you can't help but smile. Put your feet on the floor every day and think, this doesn't have to be bad, because it doesn't.
Probably the biggest mistake of my life was to forget about my faith, to forget about my family, and think about myself selfishly, in that it was the end of the world, which it was not.